requested as far as wanting some Disney content, and my brother and I are going to more than likely make this into a series where we discuss our favorite Disney things in general. So for today's video, we are discussing again our top 10 Disneyland rides. So let's go ahead and get things started with my brother.
Yeah, and this is definitely a series that we kind of wanted to make like a podcast feel to it almost, where we can just kind of hang out with you guys. And obviously, you guys know my brother is like the Disney guy. He likes wrestling and stuff. So I'm thinking maybe on my channel I can bring Chris on in the same format and do like top 10 horror movies or video games or stuff like that. So do you want me to go first?
Yeah. Well, we'll start with Ryan. You're number 10.
Number 10, awesome. And remember, these are different, so we don't have the same rides, obviously. For my number 10, I have Alice in Wonderland. Now, it's a really fun ride. I like it. I like the older rides, and I just think it's pretty trippy and cool, but it's probably one of the slower ones in my opinion, so that's why it's not higher up.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you're saying. That ride is not on my list, but it's a very good ride. I feel like I don't go on that ride as often as any other rides. That might be the least. That might be the last ride that I ever usually go on when I'm at Disneyland.
Yeah, no, I remember the first time I went on it. I don't think it was with you. It was with one of my old friends or something, or I think it was Christine, one of our cousins. And I was really scared of the last part where there's like a birthday cake with like a dynamite in it. And every time you go up to it, obviously it doesn't explode, but it makes the loud bang. And I always used to like cover my face because I thought there was going to be an explosion. So definitely some parts in that ride scared the living hell out of me. And it was just not fun at first, but then you get older, you don't get scared, you realize it's a ride, and now it's just a trippy kind of ride to look at. But
yeah, no, I enjoy the visuals of it. Obviously Alice in Wonderland is a Disney classic, so
I still haven't seen the movie.
Fake fan.
I'm a fake Disney fan. What do you got?
But yeah, no, it's a very good ride. So for my number 10, I have the Jungle Cruise. Honestly, the Jungle Cruise probably is one of the most relaxing rides in all of Disneyland. You just get to sit down, on a nice boat ride, enjoying all of the Disneyland animatronic animals. The Jungle Cruise skippers are also really, really funny.
Now the skippers, Chris, what are those? What are skippers?
Skippers are basically the people who are driving the boat and basically your tour guide. They're your tour guide basically. So yeah, I enjoy that ride so much. It's very relaxing, and I think everyone should at least ride that, once in their lifetime. To some people, it could seem like a boring ride, but it's great.
I think what really makes the ride, like Chris said, are the skippers. It's a lot of fun because I've had times where I ride it and the skipper is like awful, and I have had times where I ride it and the skipper is what makes the ride better because, like he said, they're your tour guide. So they're basically telling you little puns and jokes and, oh, look over here, there's an elephant, look over there. So sometimes you're on the ride and it's like, hello, welcome to the Jungle Cruise. Oh, look, an elephant. Oh, look, the backside of water. Oh, look. And then you have the employees that get into it and they're in character and they're just fine. Like, I just think it really depends on the skipper for like the type of experience you'll get, It's always the same stuff, but like you can have a really relaxing one or you can have an over-the-top funny one, So
I feel like I've been really lucky because I don't think I've ever had a boring skipper. They're usually really, really fun. So again, that's my number 10.
That's good. I've had some where it's just like, no, dude, no, you're not having a good day and we can tell. But okay, we got our number 10 out of the way. Let's move on to number 9. Do you want to go first or do you want to keep it?
Oh, we can keep it like that.
Okay. My number 9 on my top 10 list, Peter Pan's Flight. which is another, I think, dark ride is what they're called. And I remember the first time I rode Peter Pan's Flight was like 3 years ago, which was so shocking to me because we've been going to Disney for way more than 3 years.
After the remodel was your first time?
Yeah, so I didn't get to see the original stuff, but I swear to you, the second I went on that ride, I was like, this is insane. Like, obviously we'll try and include photos right here. But, like, when you're going over the city in the dark room with the lights, so it's like, it's on a track, but instead of the track being underneath you, you're like hanging from a top track. So it's almost like you're zip lining throughout the entire ride in like this boat, and my god, it's very relaxing. I would say that one's good. And not many scary parts. I'm not as scared of that one than I was of the other dark rides, but obviously the first time I rode it, I was, 19, 20? So it was a really, really good ride. I would say that's a solid 9 for me.
Awesome. I also enjoy that ride. My number 9 is going to be Big Thunder Mountain. That is a ride that I typically didn't go on a lot when I was younger. I just used to always skip that ride. But recently, going on that ride, I've had a lot of fun. Going with my brother, with my girlfriend, with my friends. That ride is now probably one of the best rides to go on, in my opinion, at night.
Yes.
It's so much fun to go at night.
Just about to say.
And yeah, that's my number 9, Big Thunder Mountain.
I would definitely say that that's probably one of the best rides to go on at night, mainly because if you time it right, going on that ride when the fireworks show is happening, which is usually 9 p.m.
I think so, yeah.
It gives you such a good view of the fireworks, and it's amazing. But that ride always seems to be like a last ride. I never ride it during the day. It's always kind of like, okay guys, we're gonna head out. We haven't done Big Thunder yet, let's go do it. So for me, I mean, it's not on my list, but it's a really, really fun ride. It's a roller coaster, so it's exciting. For me, I guess we're moving on to number 8. My number 8 is yet another dark ride that holds a very special place, and I'm sure it does for Chris as well. Is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yes.
Which, from what I can remember, is probably the first ever Disney ride I ever rode. That I can remember, at least, because all of my earliest memories at Disney is riding Mr. Toad's with my brother.
Because I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, he must have rode it before I went on or something like that, because all I remember is him saying, hey, let's go, Ryan, I want to go on this ride with you, and I'm just like, okay, let's go, and it scared the living hell out of me, guys. I swear to you, there were moments in that ride where I was just like...
I mean, you're literally in hell in that ride, so...
Which I thought was controversial, you know, like a lot of... You end the ride in hell, like... Spoiler alert, the ride's been there forever, but you literally die in that ride.
And go to hell.
What?
And that's it. No happy ending.
Walt Disney, are you good, bro? Is everything good? But, yeah, it's a very, very fun ride, and to me it holds a very special place because it's one of the earliest memories of Disney I have, and it's with my brother, so.
Awesome. Well, my number 8, rest in peace. It is going to be Splash Mountain. Again, rest in peace. I'm sad to see it go. I'm very sad, but hopefully with the Princess and the Frog taking over, I can only imagine the types of animatronics and things that they're going to have on that ride. Yeah. It's going to be really, really exciting, but number 8, Splash Mountain, I mean, how can you not enjoy that ride? Yes, you get soaking wet sometimes, but it's all part of the fun. Zippity Doo Dah is a classic Disney song, so that ride just brings a lot of happy emotions in me. It's just such a fun ride. I love it. How can you not like it?
Yeah, it's definitely a dated ride, so I think an update is good, but honestly, I kind of wish they would have kept it and kind of built, Princess Tiana in her movie, like her own ride instead of, hey, let's take this existing shell of a ride and put it in, shove her into it, But other than that, I mean, I don't know if you've heard anything, but like, obviously Splash Mountain is built to be a water ride. Is Princess and the Frog gonna be?
Yeah, it's gonna be the same
really?
exact ride, yeah.
I didn't know that. See, I've never seen Princess and the Frog. I mean, have you? I think you told me that you saw like half of it.
Yeah, I saw half of it. I haven't finished it. I enjoyed it somewhat.
From what you've seen, do you think this would make a good ride?
Well, yeah, I think
colors
it'll make a good ride with the whole aesthetic.
Nice.
We're gonna include some concept art right here of the Princess and the Frog Splash Mountain ride.
They already released concept art.
Yeah,
I had no idea. Well, stay tuned for all of our SoCal friends. We're gonna be getting our Princess and the Frog ride where Splash Mountain was. Is Splash Mountain already closed? They already taken a.
I'm not too sure, obviously, with Disneyland being closed.
Yeah.
But Walt Disney World, you can, since they're open, you can still ride Splash Mountain right now.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to get our farewell ride on Splash Mountain, but either way, so long, partner. That's a ride that I definitely really had a lot of fun with. I remember, I'm not sure if you were there, but I was there with my friends, and we rode it as the last ride of the night, and I didn't have a jacket or anything, and we got soaked, and I almost got sick, so it was really awful. But Princess and the Frog, guess I gotta watch the movie now.
Yeah. Definitely. We're gonna be including photos of some rides here. So these photos that you're seeing are some pretty good memories that we've had in Splash Mountain.
Look at those beautiful, beautiful people. Okay, where are we at now? Is that,
We are number 7.
Number 7 for me is Star Tours. Now, we love Star Wars. We're big Star Wars fans. And Star Tours, I think, it's not a super, like, whoa ride for me, but I used to have problems with it because I used to get lots of motion sickness on it. Because you're just sitting in this little cabin and it just shakes around in front of a screen. So if you get really easy motion sickness, that's a ride that I think will do it for you. And I'm sorry if you guys could hear this airplane flying above us. Oh, you definitely won't be able to hear that, but it's probably Disney flying all the Princess and the Frog stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Splash Mountain. But other than that, yeah, Star Tours, my god. I think that's Walt Disney coming to copyright our video because we're including.
Sorry guys for all the background noise. I'm so sorry. And if you can hear Happy, I'm sorry.
Oh, and Happy's always snoring in our videos, guys, so I'm really sorry, but we do our best to, make sure you guys have a good time. But yeah, Star Tours. We love Star Wars. I think the fact that it can change story and have a different adventure almost every time you go is really, really fun. Sometimes you go to Jakku and do Force Awakens, or you get a prequel story, or, Return of the... I don't know the different ones. Chris will correct me on any Star Wars movie stuff, but the fact that you can get a different adventure almost every time makes the ride 10 times better for me, because you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and spoiler alert for my list, I did not include Star Tours, even though I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I didn't include it because of that one major reasoning of motion sickness. I get sick pretty easy on that ride, so as much as I like having fun with friends on that ride, it's too much for me, so I get too sick on it, unfortunately.
I'm not sure if it was with you, but I went with one of our cousins, and I almost threw up in the gift shop, because the ride leads you off into the gift shop, obviously. Disney wants your money. But, I swear to you, sometimes I'm like, yeah, in that ride, and other times I'm like my brother, where it's like, this is too much. I can't. I feel like I'm 80 years old.
Yeah, and for those of you that are familiar with the ride and you guys have experienced the ride, comment down below and let us know if you have ever been picked as the rebel spy. chosen. I've always wanted to be chosen. But comment down below if you guys have ever been the rebel spy in Star Tours.
I'm gonna leave a comment because I only got it once.
Oh, so lucky. That's awesome.
When I was with one of my ex-girlfriends there, and I was kind of obnoxious because that was the first time I ever got it. So right when it showed my picture, I was like, hey, you know, like I screamed in the ride, and everyone's like, yep, you're the spy. Yeah, so it's just exciting for us because, I don't know, there's cameras all throughout the thing. So whoever picks it, I don't know, but can you choose me and my brother more, please? We go there all the time.
Yeah, seriously. So what number was that?
We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are now on number 6. That was my number 7. So you go to number 7. What's your number 7?
Yeah, so my number 7 is Space Mountain. So Space Mountain is an indoor roller coaster. For those of you that know the ride, I mean, it's so amazing. Honestly, it's a little bit terrifying sometimes because of how claustrophobic it can feel with everything around you.
Dark.
It feels like you're gonna hit your head on something. But it's a really fast indoor roller coaster, and the music of Space Mountain is just so beautiful. Like, it is incredible. I love it so much.
There's like days where like I'll hear Chris's car come into the driveway and it's like blasting the Space Mountain theme song, and I listen to it sometimes too, but it's just like and I'm just like, it's a hype song. It's awesome. But what you said about the claustrophobic feeling and everything, to this day, the bigger I get, I don't like putting my hands up in that ride. It's so dark in there, and if you go on YouTube and you search, well, you're on YouTube now, and if you watch the ride with the lights on,
yeah,
my God, after seeing that video, I couldn't put my hands up because it looks like there are bars everywhere around you, and I've gone on the ride with people that just hands all the way up, and I'm like, my God, dude, that is insane. But
well, to make you feel better and to make, you know, other people feel better about that is Shaquille O'Neal, better known as Shaq. He rode the ride and had no issues. So
he's like what, like freaking 20 feet tall?
I don't know. I think he's like I want to say like 8 feet. I don't know. I feel like the fakest NBA fan because I don't know how tall Shaq is, but
you're fine. I don't know.
Let's say he's really, really tall.
So, other than that, Space Mountain for Chris is number 7. Any fun memories you think you have of that ride? Or?
Yes, I have a very funny memory. So sometimes I would go to Disneyland by myself. I feel that some people should try that, you know, once in their lifetime. It's really fun. It feels very peaceful. But the point of my story is I was at Disneyland by myself. I went to Space Mountain and I was wearing a hat on the ride. While the ride was going, my hat flew off of my head, and it was one of my favorite sports hats. It was a Florida Panthers hockey hat, and it flew off in the ride, and my heart stopped, and I'm just like, oh, that hat is gone forever. But when the ride is over and we go back where we get off of the ride, I look behind me and the hat was in the other seat behind me. So no one was sitting behind me, and the hat just went into the other row, and I was able to pick it up and take it. So that was like my lucky hat or something. I don't know.
So it just like switched seats on you.
Yeah.
It didn't go out.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's probably one of the coolest memories.
We're gonna try and wake up Happy because he's snoring loud.
Yeah.
Get up, Happy. Get up. There you go. He's awake now. Sorry for his little snores, guys, but that's insane. I mean, and as we're talking, guys, we're gonna try and find as many photos to put up here. So you probably saw some of our ride pictures we have, but that was number 7.
That's my number 7.
And let's move on to number 6. Matterhorn bobsleds. That's my number 6. I put it there because it's a very exciting ride, and my God, with the new remodeled Yeti and everything, like it just definitely got a lot more terrifying, I guess you can say. I programming, I was already afraid of the original Yeti, and now I'm just even more afraid. But other than that, I mean, beautiful views of the park when you're up there, and thrilling, exciting. So yeah, that's just a fun one, and I don't think they take your photo on that one, but I have a lot of fun memories going with like my brother, my family, my friends, and it's just a really fun one to take someone that's never been on it before and kind of watch them get scared. So yeah,
it's a bit painful sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, it's bumpy.
A bit painful.
Definitely mess up your back a bit on that one.
But yeah, surprisingly, I didn't think of the Matterhorn as far as including that spoiler alert in my top 10. So yeah, I kind of missed that one. That one's also a really good ride.
Yeah.
My number 6 is a ride that is found in Toontown, and that ride is Roger Rabbit.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Now, no spoiler alert for mine, obviously, but that's not on mine.
Yeah. Roger Rabbit is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I remember watching that movie as a kid, having a lot of memories watching it with my mom. But yeah, that ride holds a special place in my heart. I love it so much. Even like the queue of when you're waiting.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, that's also really nice because it feels like you're in the movie.
Sometimes the line is kind of better than the ride for me. I don't know. It's pretty fun and interactive. But
Yeah.
you know, and like my brother said, we used to watch that movie with my mom all the time when we were younger, and going back to watch it as adults, we realize it's actually pretty inappropriate. But it's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a great ride. You get to control the ride technically because you're controlling the taxi that you're in. So that's really fun.
You can like spin it around and stuff, which is fun. But I think that was one of the first movies to ever have like animated and live action like in the same frame, you know?
I think so.
And we saw like behind the scenes footage of how they recorded all of that, and it was so crazy. They worked really hard on that movie, and the ride is pretty cool. Man, I kind of, thinking about it, I feel like I want to switch like Peter Pan for that one. But okay, solid number 6. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 5. Mine is Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. So that one is a must go on every time we go, if I can speak for my brother. I mean, it's in my opinion, besides one of the rides we're going to mention on closer to our number 1 of the most exciting rides at Disneyland.
I agree 100%.
Okay,
yeah. You're gonna see it. It's on my list.
But yeah, I mean, obviously we'll throw pictures up and some screenshots of the ride, whatever we can find online. But it's just such an exciting experience, I would say. The story behind it, the line is so interactive. It's like the perfect transition from being in Disneyland and walking through the line. You're kind of just, wait a minute, I'm still in Disneyland, because they just pack so much story and so many props and so many things in just a line. So by the time you get into the ride, it's like I'm in a different world. I'm in the Indiana Jones universe, which I think they did perfectly on that ride.
Yeah, well, I agree. You're gonna see this one on my list coming up pretty soon. But this is number 5, right?
Number 5.
Yeah, so my number 5 is one that my brother already mentioned, but it holds a special place in my heart. That's why I have it closer in my top 5, and that is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I've never seen the movie because I know that it's based on an old Disney classic movie. I think it's called The Adventures of Ichabod and Toad, something like that. But that ride, for some reason, I just fell in love with it. The very first time I went into the ride, I loved every bit of it. It really is a wild ride. It's just so much fun. It's so wacky. And honestly, whenever I'm at Disneyland, that is a ride that I have to go on.
We always try to go on that ride.
Always, before the day's over.
Yeah, and I mean, now that we both have set it on our list and we can talk about the whole thing, can you just, in a little bit more detail, give them, like, the story of the ride? Because I know we told you guys, hey, you die and go to hell, but like, what is to you, if you were explaining the ride, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
Well, I mean, it starts off with a bang. You're Mr. Toad in a vehicle, and you're just running away from the police, and you're causing all of this destruction and havoc
Across the city.
across the entire city. And while you're running away from the police, you end up getting hit by a train that kills you.
That part of the ride
is crazy.
As a kid, I thought I was going to die in the ride. So, I mean, obviously, for the people who live in the UK and people who are not in Southern California or Florida, don't have access to, coming down here, there's a part, because you're in a car and you're driving towards, like, on a train track, and the way they accomplish this effect, which is the scariest effect ever, because for me, getting run over, being hit by a car, anything like that is terrifying. You're facing a dark black tunnel, right? And they have like a spotlight, it's like a light.
Like a train light.
A train light, and it's above your head. So I would say it's like right here compared to where you're sitting down. And all you see is darkness and that light. So you're going towards the light thinking that there's something below the train itself. But no, the light just goes above you. It's literally just a light. And every time I went as a kid, I'd be like,
it's a really cool illusion. Again, for those who have been on the ride, you guys know what we're talking about. It's a really crazy illusion.
I really hope we can find a picture.
And as soon as you do that, that's when you enter hell. And that part is a little creepy, to be honest with you.
Red.
Even at my age, when I'm in there, it's just very eerie. But that's how the ride ends. You die, you go to hell, and the ride's over. So there's no happy ending with this at all.
It's a fun ride, and an effect that I always really liked is, for the most part, dark rides I would say are pretty cold. They always have air conditioning going on in most of those rides, and when you enter hell in the Mr. Toad's ride, it gets super warm. So it's like there's fire around you. It's not actual fire, but they make that room very warm, so it feels like you're in hell. There's little demon things poking the car, and it's really cool. So I'm sure you guys can find some POV ride footage online somewhere, but it's definitely one of those rides where it's like, that's an interesting story. Like, why would Disney end a ride where you literally die and go to hell?
It's crazy. And I was gonna recommend to you guys, feel free to search up, POVs of these rides if you've never experienced them. They're so much fun.
Yeah.
And definitely check them out after this video, of course.
Yeah, no, watch the whole thing. We need to get that ad revenue. Okay, well, that was number 5. Let's go on to number 4. I would say my number 4 is what my brother mentioned earlier, Space Mountain. He obviously told you guys it's a very dark, fast-paced roller coaster, and I love it. The line, the little hidden Mickey that's on the roller coaster, the little speakers, and not much to say what he hasn't already said, which is just, it's a fast-paced roller coaster. I'm riding it like this. Whenever I'm always like this, because I'm afraid if I do this, my arms will get chopped off. So I'm just like, yay, this is so much fun. Oh, sorry about that, but we do have photos and stuff. I'll try and see if we saved a couple to put right here, but it's just one of those rides where it's like, it's a good way to end the night, I guess, on a high note. So for me, my number was at 4, 5. Let's see. I totally forgot.
Number 4.
Number 4 would be Space Mountain.
So good choice on Space Mountain. But my number 4 is gonna be one that my brother mentioned, and that's gonna be Indiana Jones as my number 4 favorite Disneyland ride. I mean, again, just like Ryan said, that ride, going into the line queue, it feels like you're in another world. It feels like you're in the movie.
There's a lot of interactive things to do there.
Yeah, a lot of interactive things. Just the whole atmosphere, it's so much fun. The ride itself, how you're in the Jeep, and just the way everything moves. It's incredible. And then just is made and just how big everything is once you're in the ride. It's incredible. I mean, there's snakes, there's spiders, there's fire, there's everything. It's such an awesome ride.
It's kind of like fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen kids that are like 5 go on that ride. As long as you fit the little height measurement, they still have a really good time. So,
and I don't think you mentioned it, but the ending of that ride is insane with that humongous boulder that's heading your way. That's another terrifying visual.
It's so funny because it's another one of those illusions where I think it's like right next to your face, but I think we did our research and realized like it's actually pretty far away from us. So even if you like reached out your hand trying to touch it, you wouldn't be able to touch it. But it's a really good effect.
Yeah. So that is going to be my number 4.
Okay, number 4 was that was your number 4.
Yeah,
so
number 3.
So my number 3, I would say my third favorite ride at Disney out of my top 10 is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean. And I know, I'm sure my brother, it's somewhere in his heart there, but this ride is one of, not the only, but one of the most special rides, I think, to me and my brother, to my family, to like just our Disney experience in general. Like, to me, there are days where I can fall asleep in that ride because it's so relaxing, it's so nice, it's so good, and it's so funny because usually guys have seen them on my channel, but I have candles that smell like certain rides, and one of the candles I bought was the Pirate Water candle from the Magic Candle Company. I'm not sponsored by them, but if you guys are big Disney fans, check them out. They sell scented candles that smell like the rides.
We'll try to put up a picture up here.
Yeah, but I got the Pirate Water one, which smells just like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and it's just so many iconic things in that ride. I'll let my brother go into it later, but that's my number 3.
Okay, so my number 3 is a very new ride, and this is going to be Rise of the Resistance as my number 3. Guys, I cannot begin to tell you or even explain to you how insane and incredible this ride is. I don't even like calling it a ride, and I promise you guys I will do my best to not spoil anything for you guys if you guys haven't been on the ride, but it is an experience.
Yeah.
It's not a ride, it's an experience. I mean,
it's insane.
The things that are in that ride and the things that you do leading up to the ride, it is just phenomenal. So again, I don't want to get into spoilers for those of you who have not seen any of the videos or have not ridden it yet. This is, I mean, there's a reason why it's number 3. You guys are gonna know my 1 and 2, but this can be a candidate for my number 1 of all time, just because of how insane that ride is and how amazing it is. So that's my number 3, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Okay, well, that's actually really funny, Chris, because my number 2 is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. A funny story is the week or the month that this ride first opened, obviously people flooded Disneyland. The lines were out the door. They were just, it was insane. My brother and I had to wake up, I think, 3 in the morning. We drove to Disney and we got there at 4 in the morning. We were trying to plan out the day and we were waiting for 12 hours almost to ride the ride finally. And the way they said to get your, little line queue ticket to make sure you can ride is by going on your phone and right at 9 a.m. when the park opens, tap the fast pass thing or your ticket queue or whatever and get your ticket. My brother and I timed it. We hit, no joke, we hit the get our ticket thing maybe like at 9 o'clock and 0.2 seconds.
Yeah.
We literally saw the thing go and we pressed it on both of our phones and we ended up getting, what was it, number 46 or 76 or something like that?
No, it was in the 40s. I'm gonna upload a picture because I took a screenshot.
Oh, yeah. That's how it looks.
I took a screenshot of our boarding pass because it was just like an incredible moment that we were able to get in, because there's so many people that were not ever able to get reservations for the ride because of how quick all of the reservations would get filled up. Like my brother mentioned, we literally pressed the button to make our reservation, I mean, 0.2 seconds after 9 o'clock, and we were in the group 45 or whatever. So, I mean, it's insane. It's honestly insane, but it's worth it. So, hopefully in the near future, everyone can experience that ride.
But going into that experience, it was a lot of fun, and I would say 110% it was worth it. Being able to ride that ride, like he said, I wouldn't even say it's a ride. It's like a full-blown experience, you know. And yes, as he said, we won't get into spoilers, but it's just, for me, I would say it's like multiple rides in one, you know, without giving away too much of the story or what happens. It's like whatever you can think of when you think of ride, when it's like mazes, roller coasters, slow rides, fast ride, like it's an all-in-one ride, you know, drop rides, a bunch of different stuff. It has everything you need for like a theme park experience, which is amazing. So 110%, that's my number 2.
Yeah, just thinking about it right now is blowing my mind. Honestly, that ride's incredible.
I want to go back.
But my number 2 is a big time classic. My number 2 is the Haunted Mansion. So the Haunted Mansion, I mean, what else can you say that hasn't already been said about this ride? It is just one of the most incredible rides in Disneyland. It's a classic. I mean, the whole elevator scene of that ride is just so memorable from being a little kid and growing up. I mean, you remember everything. I love all the characters, like what's the character? The Hatbox Ghost.
Yeah.
The bride who killed her husbands. I mean, the grave digger, the graveyard keeper. And I mean, it's just so iconic, that Haunted Mansion ride, the outside of the ride. I mean, seeing the big house, it's incredible. And then also during Christmas is the Nightmare Before Christmas. So, I mean, that's just amazing. Honestly, Jack Skellington and everything. That's my number 2.
Nice. My number 1 ride at Disneyland,
here we go,
of all time. ASMR drum roll. The Haunted Mansion. So, the Haunted Mansion, I would say, is my number 1. It's probably the most special to me when it comes to all the rides. It's always been my favorite since I was a kid. As Chris said, it's one of the oldest rides at Disneyland. It's one of the most iconic rides at Disneyland. We've watched countless hours of behind the scenes, of documentaries, of interviews with workers that were on there. You can't see, but just behind the camera I have a poster of the Haunted Mansion, poster art, which looks like this. I'll try and put it right here. And it's signed by the wonderful Bob something. His last name is something, but I'm pretty sure his name is Bob. I met him. He was such a great guy. I'll try and include the photo I have of me and him. And he signed it for me. And that man is the guy who was the original Disney Imagineer who created the Doom Buggy, which is the little thing that you climb into to ride the ride. And it's just an amazing experience. Any Halloween lover, as you guys know, I love Halloween. It's incredible. So from the Hatbox Ghost to the bride that kills her husbands, to the dancing dinner scene, to the graveyard keeper, to the singing busts outside in the graveyard, like
the whole graveyard scene's incredible.
So many iconic things to that ride. The songs, everything is just it's stuck with me since I was a kid, and it's still there. So, and as you said, during the holiday season, they changed it to A Nightmare Before Christmas, which is mine and my brother's favorite Christmas movie growing up, or at least mine. I don't want to speak for him.
Boy, it's a Christmas, you can see it as a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie.
Either one, it's a favorite for me. But yeah, to me, it's one of the rides where I know until something crazy happens, till the end of time, it will stay at Disneyland. If they ever remodeled it to another ride like they are with Splash Mountain and Princess and the Frog, or if they took it out, or if they like completely redid it, people would hate it. I know they would, and I'm sorry if you guys could hear happy, but I just gotta keep waking him up because he's snoring. But
that's how good we are. He falls asleep to our voices.
Yeah, our ASMR is just way too good. But it's absolutely amazing, guys. It's a ride I definitely recommend checking out if you're completely new to Disney. And oh my god, I was gonna say one more thing. Oh, one interesting fact about the Haunted Mansion ride that I loved hearing was when they were first designing the ride, a lot of the Imagineers working on the ride, excuse me, said that they wanted to make the outside, the mansion itself, they wanted to make it look all dilapidated and, you know, messed up with broken windows, rotting wood, and all dark and just spooky. But Walt Disney told them, no, let's let the inside of the house do the scaring. Let's let the ghosts inside really scare you, not the outside. He wanted the outside to look like a nice, normal mansion that's nice and classy, and really let the scare start and the spookiness start right when you enter those doors, which I think was really good, really clever, and really smart, because right now, you know where Haunted Mansion is in Disneyland. Would you be able to see like this, whoa, creepy, like, house with a bunch of black broken windows and stuff, like, in the same area that it is now, or that really nice mansion?
I don't know, it's hard to tell, but the mansion just looks so beautiful, and it just stands out. I mean,
it does.
It's just so beautiful, basically.
Yeah, so that's my number one, and obviously you guys are on the Lazarus ASMR's channel here. You want to hear him tell you what his number one ride is and why, so without further ado.
Yes, and very quickly, before we do that, I sincerely apologize to my brother because I have a honorable mention that I want to say. It's in between.
Wow.
It's in between my number one and number two favorite ride. The only reasoning as to why I'm not officially including it onto my list is because it technically does not exist any longer at Disneyland. And for those that know me, know why this is probably one of my favorites of all time, and that is the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
California Adventure. That's not Disneyland.
Oh my gosh.
So, you guys don't know, but we're going to do a separate top 10, hopefully.
My apologies.
California Adventure.
This is Disneyland, so scratch all of that, guys. I am so sorry. And my number one Disneyland ride of all time is Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, there's many reasons as to why that ride is my favorite of all time. More importantly, it is because of the fact that I've experienced that ride with all of my friends, my family, my loved ones. So many memories with my brother on that ride, as well as individual moments with my mother and my father on that ride. So it's very, very sentimental and emotional for me. Just the fact that I've, was able to experience that ride, being very peaceful in the beginning part of the ride with my family, my girlfriend, my loved ones. So not only that, but the animatronics, it being such a classic ride, it's honestly just so peaceful. I don't know how to explain it, but there's just something about it that it's going to be my all-time favorite ride for a very long time. I mean, honestly, for the rest of my life, because it means so much to me. And I've always been a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean, so it's really cool. But that's my number one, guys, of all time.
And I mean, like Chris said, Pirates of the Caribbean is such an iconic ride. There's so many iconic scenes, from the beginning to the scene where they're drowning that one guy in the well, questioning him, the the city's on fire, the ending when Jack is singing. So as someone who, put it on their number one, what would you say is your favorite or your most iconic or most memorable part of the ride that you think of when someone says Pirates of the Caribbean to you?
Well, honestly, I feel like almost everyone watching this or listening to this is gonna be like, what the heck? Because of how random it is, but
I think I know what he's gonna say.
When you start the ride and when you go down the drop, and you're basically what is it called? You're in that area where there's the skeletons, and there is like some crabs in the sand.
Yeah, like it's in the first movie where they have like the chest with the treasure, and there's crabs.
It's right at the beginning, right after the drop.
There's a seagull on top of like a pirate skeleton.
That little part before you reach the part of the ride with the skeleton in the storm. Yeah, like
where he's like driving and like the lightning flashes.
That little section, that little part, for some reason I just love it so much.
I would say that's the most calming part too, because it's the Pirate's Life for Me song in the background of that part, but it's so like it's a different version of it where it's like instead of yo ho, it's like yo.
Yeah, it's very peaceful. I love it so much.
We've been looking for that song somewhere.
I think I found it.
You found it?
I think I found it on a website.
We're gonna be bumping it.
I'll show you that later.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. But wow. So my number one of all time is the Haunted Mansion, and as you just heard, Chris is the Pirates of the Caribbean. So
classics, classics for the Gutierrez brothers.
100%. And as you all know, I mean, I'm already a big Disney guy on my Instagram and Twitter. I'm always posting that stuff, but to see all the wonderful feedback that you guys left him when he said, "Oh, I like Disney," you guys are like, "Oh, let's get Disney."
Thank you guys. Like, seriously, thank you guys for all of your comments. This is gonna be one out of so many Disney themed videos that I'm gonna be doing. I want to start this as a specific series, just kind of telling you guys what I'm into, what I like. When it comes to Disney things, I kind of jumped the shark earlier, and I was talking about Tower of Terror. We're going to be doing another video like this, but for California adventure rides. So be on the lookout for that one. That should be coming out in the near future. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to my brother, the ASMR Ryan, for joining me. You guys are going to be seeing him more on my channel for some videos.
And I mean, I was gonna say about the whole series thing, guys. Obviously, I'd love to do this with my brother on my channel too, and I want you guys to please comment down on this video. And you can keep it Disney since Chris said he wants to make this Disney, but comment down. We can do top 10 foods, top 10 Disney movies, top 10 Disney shows, fireworks shows, anything.
Parades.
I'm sure we can do Disney parades, Disneylands, how like Disneyland has the little separate like, oh, Tomorrowland, Frontier, like rating our,
our favorite land.
Yeah, so maybe even top 10 Disney pins and stuff like that. So you leave my brother your comments down below.
Yes,
and I can see this being such a fun series, whether he's bringing me on the channel or someone else that can talk about it with them, but it's definitely just really fun to be able to hang out with you guys and kind of in this podcast form. I really like it. So
again, I just want to thank you guys again. Thank my brother again. Stay tuned for more Disney content. And again, I am Lazarus ASMR. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great